Hi everybody, it's Lasha from High Voltage. No wasting time here. Ask not. We are actually at part 3, the bombshell. I took a lot of notes. We read, wow. Yeah, part 3. So this is part 3 from Ask Not, the Kennedys and the women they destroyed, and the bombshell is where they're talking about Marilyn Monroe, okay? If you go on to my shorts, and my videos, I have put up all of the pictures. They're all there. From the funeral, there's pictures of Marilyn Monroe, and there's other women. I mean, it's just, what they did to Marilyn Monroe was absolutely disgusting. What they did, we haven't even gotten to Rosemary yet, or Martha Moxley, or Kathleen Kick. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm a slower reader than a lot of the other channels like Cheer Denise and the Bookworm or book reviews. However, if you want to try something new, hang with me for 20 minutes because I don't read for very long. Reading out loud is tiresome. But I love it because I like acting. So, Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was the world's biggest sex goddess. When she met Jack Kennedy, the rising star of the United States Senate, it was the summer of 1954 in Los Angeles. Jack's favorite place for what he called his hunting expeditions, is that what he called it? And Marilyn was his latest prey. Do you know that their affair went on from 1955 until she passed away? He had been angling to meet her. Now, before I continue with the book, do you remember the part in the book where Jack Kennedy he must have been in his 30s or 20s. He couldn't have been in his 40s. But he had a poster of Marilyn Monroe with her dress up and she was holding it down, but he had it upside down so her you-know-what was facing his face. That's disgustingly weird. Okay, and Jackie saw it. That's why this was the most threatening affair she ever. Could you imagine? Okay. I think I've met you somewhere. I think I've met you someplace before, Kennedy said to Marilyn. It was hardly the most original line, but Marilyn played along. Certainly possible, she said. They had friends in common, especially Kennedy's brother-in-law, Peter Lawford, a film actor of some renown. Marilyn, or some renown, sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not apologizing. I love this book. I love reading it. Okay, certainly possible, she said. They had many friends in common, especially Kennedy's brother-in-law, Peter Lawford, a film actor. Okay, Marilyn was wary of Peter. She thought he was secretly happy. Like, seriously? How did happy turn into that word? It's so silly. All right, so what does that have to do with anything? Okay, so she thought that he was happy. Clearly, Peter also wanted to be Jack. Marrying his sister, Patricia Kennedy, hadn't been enough for Peter. He quickly became Jack's shadow, his pimp, his fixer, his drug supplier. Anything or anyone Jack wanted, Peter made it happen. This is from the book, YouTube. It's right there in black and white. Take a still screen. I didn't say anything wrong. To Jack, who had always felt rejected by his mother. See, I think the Kennedy women don't like women, and it's so subconscious. Or is it? I don't know. I'm not a man. Who had repelled her with his tears as much as his sickly body. The orphaned Marilyn vibrated on a different frequency than his other women. What? Okay, Marilyn was orphaned, but her mother was mentally ill. She had I don't even like mentally ill. The woman was traumatized. And they used to call women that were traumatized back in that day crazy. And we're not. I just like my black hat, and I like to shout sometimes. Okay, so he always felt rejected by his mother, and we all know why. Because when he was a sickly boy, I mean, he had back operations. I mean, he had things on his legs. He was in pain all the time. And he had a disease that started with an A. We'll get to it. But Jackie loved him. But see, I think what Marilyn and Jack did was they trauma bonded. Jack was in the hospital recovering from back surgery at death's door. Jackie tending to him 24/7. Underneath that upside down poster of Marilyn Monroe. I didn't even know that was there. I'm getting really proud of myself, you know. You know why? Because I've never been an active reader. I know there's a voracious reader, I don't know, veracity reader. I'm just joking. But I love books, but because of my illness when I was younger, I couldn't concentrate. So that's why I'm really happy about this book. And hey, I'm happy if one person enjoys it. Never mind 26. Thank you very much for following this little teeny tiny channel. Which, you know, really makes me upset with myself, because do you know that between the 3 channels I created, I thought they would just come together? But that's not the way YouTube works, because I didn't know what I was doing. As I said, I still am learning. And there's 305 people on L&L Soul Sisters, people that were on high voltage, and when I got the strike, went over to that channel. And then my Lasha Rajanko channel to go live, but my computer died the day that I got the strike. It was weird. Nothing had to do with YouTube. It's just, it was a 2-year computer, and it went kaput. It went poof. So, okay, they vibrated on a different frequency than his other women. Okay, this is where I went, what? They were both self-inventors, damaged people who had willed themselves into superhuman catastrophes and stratospheres. He, the physical embodiment of post-war America, vibrant, youthful, I can't say that word. She, pure, softened by kittishness, innocence, a symbol of the culture, tiptoeing his way to the sexual revolution. Women on the verge of second wave feminism. Jack Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe, 2 persons built on damaged foundations, casting their dark magic. That's what trauma bonding. Yeah. And that's what I think that Jacqueline Bouvier and Jack Kennedy also trauma bonded. Trauma bonding is a very difficult thing to free yourself from an individual. By the spring of 1955, Marilyn thought she was happier than she'd been in a long time. Her brief marriage to Joe DiMaggio had ended in divorce after 9 months. She must have been difficult to live with. She was very, very, very traumatized. I do not think that I have ever seen a woman so traumatized. She wanted two things: to be loved, a deep, full love that she believed could heal all her wounds. Well, I can tell you, Marilyn, it doesn't work. Not that I sleep with people to take away my demons. In fact, I'm the opposite. I stay away from people to heal before. You cannot be in a healthy relationship unless you're healthy. Bottom line. End of story. Okay, so they divorced. The testimony won. Okay, that testimony won Marilyn her immediate freedom. She did not testify to the physical abuse she suffered from Joe DiMaggio. I did not know that. He used to beat her up. That's all I'm going to say, is Joe DiMaggio used to beat Marilyn Monroe up. Oh, I'm finishing here because I have to go swimming, but I will be back later on tonight. Did you know that Marilyn Monroe had an affair with the Chaplin brothers? Like, I mean, you know, as Lady Diana said, there were 3 in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded. Well, yep, Marilyn and Charlie Chaplin's 2 sons, and she was pregnant from a Chaplin brother. And you know what happened, and she was devastated for years. If you want to find out more about Marilyn Monroe, watch the movie Blonde. Speaking of which, I'm going to go swimming. Sorry about the bathing suit, people. Okay, goodbye.